So is podcast editing actually necessary? If you go online, mostly on Facebook groups about podcasting, you'll find that people saying things like editing a show is inauthentic or not worth their time. They like to be raw, real, and whatever. And while you might say to me, Dave, you're a podcast editor, you're obviously biased, that is a fair point. The reason that I do what I do is because I believe in the importance of the work. And I understand that many people don't have the time or inclination to get into the minute details of audio production. So while I do have a vested interest in podcasts getting edited, the real reason is that while it's known that podcast is a growing medium, a lot of that growth is being driven by big names getting into the space. For example, look at Conan O'Brien. He's a massive name in network television, in American network television. And he's had his podcast for a few years now, but now he's not on TV anymore. He retired. So the podcast has been running for a while, and now his fans have nowhere to go but to listen to his podcast or to watch it on YouTube. Some of those people might be new to podcasts and will be looking for something else to try. And if they find your raw and real episode, they'll move on in seconds. And if they find a few raw and real episodes in a row, they may give up completely on podcasting outside of the few big ticket shows that they listen to, like Conan or other Team Coco or Earwolf for shows that he will be recommending. As I've admitted, I do have an interest in encouraging people to edit their podcasts, but I will tell you that it's not that hard to do some basic editing. And that will help you stand out from all those basic unedited shows. I'm not here to tell people it's a difficult job. It isn't really hard if you want to do some of the basics yourself. A little bit of noise reduction, tightening up on the timing and compression will get you 90% of the way to big ticket professional shows on the big networks, and will distinguish you from the dozens of badly done shows out there. So you can use editing to stand out from a sea of sloppy work and bring you closer to the shows and creators that are the ones that are driving audience growth. But you'll say, isn't content king? And yes, the content of your show is important, but let me give you a little scenario. You go to the market to shop for dinner. You've seen a recent cookery show, something on Bon Appetit, and you are inspired to try something new. So you buy all the needed ingredients, the best ingredients money can buy. You get them home, put them all in the pot together, put the stove on max, and leave everything cooking until it smells cooked, and you serve it to someone. They try it, they try to be polite, but at the end of the day, it's not enjoyable, and they're not going to come back for another meal again. So what gives? Content was great, right? Why isn't the meal enjoyable? Because the preparation is part of the experience. The content isn't just the ingredients. Prepping and cooking the ingredients is just as important, maybe even more so than the ingredients that go in the pot. You can make a great meal with cheap ingredients if you do the job properly. After all, you don't need the best onions to make a great meal. So it's important as a podcaster or creator to respect your audience or prospective audience. People clicking the link to your show won't stick around if the experience is unpleasant, if you don't respect the listener. So no matter how valuable or interesting your content is, if it's actively unpleasant or fatiguing to listen to, the audience will move on because they've got a world of options available to them. So, is podcast editing necessary? Obviously, I believe it's true. You don't need to put in huge time and money. Some basic editing will help you stand out from the crowd of worse-sounding shows and bring you closer to the large budget shows that are driving the growth of the medium. And if you need some help with that, professional editors like me are here, and some of us at pretty good rates as well. It doesn't cost a lot of money to get a podcast edited properly. So please like and subscribe. Hit the bell. I've got a lot of videos coming up soon on the basics of creating your own podcast. And I'm going to be starting a new podcast for myself soon. And I'm going to be doing almost like diary of the production process and getting it up and running and the decisions behind it. So it might be useful to prospective podcasters. And if you'd like to get in touch, feel free. Drop a comment or send me a mail at dave@brightfoxaudio.com. And I can see how I can help you out.